So, if you haven't realized yet, I go through the Discord every single week and grab all of the most important topics, leaks, and more for this episode of the download on every Friday night. Well, Friday night for me. And what you guys don't realize is I had 4 or 5 of them were announcements last week, and 4 or 5 of them were announcements this week, which is unheard of in the entire history of this show. Illuvium is cooking at an unprecedented rate right now, despite laying off some of their staff and things like that, including the guy right next to me. But the point is that they're delivering so many things right now, it's becoming a little bit hard to keep up. And that's why you really need to pay attention to the show. And please don't forget to use my referral code in the settings of the Illuvidex down below.
Scoriox, hashtag
Please,
Scoriox.
sir, can I have some more?
All right. So, like, have you guys played Gauntlet recently?
Yes.
Not since the latest update. I was going to today, but I got distracted with Civilization. But yeah, I will.
Did you play today, Sam?
No, has there been an update since yesterday?
There have been like 2 in like the past 3 days.
I have not played in 24 hours. I'll say that.
Yeah,
one.
not the latest.
Yeah, give us an update. Give us a rundown of what's going on.
I haven't played it either. I've been busy.
Oh.
Honestly, I was at work when they deployed it, and I haven't been home since, I think. So, yeah.
But I assume it's a balancing thing. It's not really adding anything in, is it? Like,
yeah, mostly. But they are saying that the major features are coming at the start of May, I believe.
And they also, one of the big feedback that, I was giving, and I know a lot of people made very loud previously, was the timing. So I think they actually added some time in the prep phase as well.
They added 10 seconds to all phases.
Yeah. So I haven't actually tried that yet. But I'm keen as shit for that specifically, because that's the thing that, like, the game itself is pretty good. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's just the lack of agency that I had based on not having enough time. So if that has been implemented and that gives me the feeling that I want, like, that's pretty big for me.
Well, there's 4 things coming in May, I believe. 4 different features, I assume.
I think one. Two in May and 2 in June. I don't know which 2 are in May. I think Weapons and Suits is and Carousel is May, and then Leviathans and stuff is probably June.
Where the hell did you guys get 2 and 2?
I saw the blog post that said 4 in May.
No, they've been talking about for a long time that there's 2 major waves of updates coming. Well, there's 3. There was 3. One just passed, and then those 2. And so that should round out all the features. So I'm just splitting it in half. But I'm pretty sure the Carousel's close. And I think Weapons and Suits should be high urgency in my personal opinion.
So will the Carousel be when you pick your legendary or your augments? Is that what changes now? Instead of just clicking a card, you go to a thing? Is that how it works?
No, legendary augments is the whole component system. So I was wrong. It might be Carousel and components and then Weapons and Suits in June. I'm not sure. But the Carousel is like a catch-up mechanic. So basically, like, if you're like coming last and it's the Carousel round, everyone jumps in the thing, and whoever's coming last gets to pick an alluvial from the Carousel first. And so maybe there's like a Ramfy there, and you really need a third one to level it up into Ram Fight. If you're coming last, you'll be able to pick it before other players.
Oh, so when you do the Carousel, it's actually you're picking an alluvial.
Yeah, an alluvial, and it normally has like a component that comes with it. So you... Sometimes you pick either or. You're like, I really need this item, so I'm going to do that. In this case, augments.
Cool.
But we don't know exactly how they're going to set it up. It'll probably work a little bit different to TFT for sure.
I just changed my mic over. Thank you, Crypto Quick Chat. Let me know if it's a bit better.
All right, let's jump into it. First one we've got is the upcoming Arena Balance patch, which is now passed 3 days ago, 1.8.0.b. Key updates: Leviathan mode multiplayer support. So multiplayer infrastructure was just added to Leviathan mode. Matchmaking improvements, stability fixes. I think stability is a bit better now. I don't know yet. 10 extra seconds per round, which is what Taryn was referring to. Drone damage system fixes. Apparently they were dealing too much damage or something. And augment and alluvial balance adjustments. If we have a look at the blog really briefly here, we've got pretty much all the same stuff here. Damage modifiers now apply correctly. They adjusted a bunch of the augments. There have been a lot of augment balances. And some of the alluvial balances, the elk got nerfed a little bit. Must have been healing like an insane amount. And the squid got buffed a little bit, which is really neat. So, yeah. After that, we had a really big Illuvium 0 patch incorporating all of the unified fuel stuff. any fuel balances over 1,000 per item were actually sent over to your wallet, and you can claim them as a refund and stuff when all of that goes live in the next day or two. So keep that in mind. We can talk about that more later if you guys want. The fuel migration blog coming later. It's already come out now. Read the full patch notes here. Take a really brief look at that. Burn feature. The plot level at cap of 201 was removed, which is really cool to see. There was a bunch of fixed stuff for megacities. Some people couldn't even load into it, but that's been fixed now. Or at least
have you changed the screen at all? Or
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I was waiting for him. There you go.
Just say something. I always forget I have to click a button in between. Okay,
I was like, yo,
it's annoying.
What is happening?
Can I ask, is anyone playing Illuvium 0? Does anyone know? Is there that many people playing it?
Yeah, it's still got like our biggest player base out of all of them. I think in Council we mentioned that something like 4,000 plots are active still, or something like that.
Oh wow, really?
Mad.
I can't remember, something like that. It was in the thousands, but yeah, it was. The Council was surprised.
I'm actually shocked.
That way.
I assume that's majority mobile, right?
It's all mobile. You can't play. Oh, right.
Of course you can
yes,
play
you
it on PC. Are you
yeah, forgot. Okay, jeez.
Yo, I'm Council Member Scoriox. No, I wouldn't. I'd actually assume that it'd be closer to 50-50 than majority mobile. I don't know. I feel like most of us here in the space are pure degenerates on our PC 90% of our time. I could be wrong.
If 4,000 plots are getting played, say, I don't know, 1,000 to 2,000 players, that's way more than I expected. Because one, there's no really money you can make on that. Let's be honest, like degens just want to make money. Maybe they enjoy playing the game, or are they spending money? I'm so confused on how come so many.
They've announced that. I don't know if this is a recent thing. I don't have all the details on it, but they've just announced that rewards are coming for Zero in some form. I don't know if that's driven.
Scoriox, would you like to?
I know the full details, but I haven't read that blog yet, so we'll get to that later in the episode.
Okay, so it's okay. No worries.
Very, very soon, I believe.
So
okay.
They've alluded to it, right? So I don't know all the
I got 50
details,
land plots.
but
Maybe I should play them then.
You probably should.
Legitimately, what I thought as well. I was like, I've got a decent amount.
It'll last a week, and then I'll stop, and I'm like, I'm over this.
Yeah, I'm considering selling the tier 1. I definitely see you playing that. Okay, so we've got Auto Drone, Illuvidex, and Web update. Honestly, I want to say that the web overall actually looks really good. A lot of the improvements and things they made. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you go and have a look at it.
As in website?
Yeah, the website. Just like there's like a somewhat of an overhaul across so many different things on the website. So worth looking at that. So we've got ADR and bounty hunts. Let's briefly look at that. Automated drone runs are live. Start collecting alluvials. Why ADR is a game changer. Instant collection. That's all I need to hear. Rewards are coming back. The weekly bounty hunt rewards will start April 3rd. And they
change the screen, bro. Change the screen.
And they include ADR. Sorry. It's been a long week for me. It's been a long week. But yeah, so you can actually earn rewards from participating in the automated drone runs, and it's going to be weekly as well. So if you've got a big stack of cash, just save it all for one huge week and go crazy.
Big stack of cash? Sam, did you hear that?
Wait, we're giving out more ILV to people who do ADRs?
Yes.
Cool.
At least they're spending. Fuck.
No, like, I get it, but, like, is now the time? I don't know. Like, have you done ADRs yet? Have you done any? I think they're pretty cool, which I did.
I've done a few. I've done a few,
they're cool, right? Now, my question is this, because I need to know. This MMO-Lite, if we can get unlimited alluvials now through these ADRs, or even when Overworld comes back, that means alluvials in the MMO-Lite coming whenever that may be. I thought they were going to be like really hard to capture, and alluvials would be like rare. Like per run, there might be like 5 alluvials or something from what I saw from Kieran's tweet, which you'll probably show later. I'd like some feedback there.
Can I be completely straight with you guys? I don't really. Well, too fucking bad. No, I don't think. Thinking about it from a game design perspective, and who knows, right? I'm not an expert at this shit, but understanding the game economy, a part of me does not care at all to include capturing of alluvials in the MMO.
I always assumed it wasn't going to be.
I would be personally very happy to have actual alluvials as a part of a pack opening, so an ADR, and have the MMO as one. If you don't need alluvials. It's meant to be a free to play game anyway, right? So if it's free to play, you can't have it give you NFTs because that screws up the economy, an infinite supply. So it needs to have a game loop of itself, and having an alluvial gives you a benefit to that game loop, not a necessity for that game loop. So I don't think that Overworld should be I think we need to change the way we're looking at it. This is just my perspective, by the way. I think that Overworld as it is now, we need to kind of whack that from our mind, and I'm going to assume that's going to go completely. And pack openings are going to be a thing, and then the MMO-Lite is a separate thing.
So what would you do in the MMO-Lite?
That's where you get items, rare cosmetics, rare weapons, things like that, through raids and shit like that. Is what I'm assuming. Not alluvials. That's just the way I'm looking at it.
On the other point, I think you can incorporate alluvials a little bit, and what I've got in my head is there's specific set 2 alluvials that aren't NFTs for anyone. Like your choice of like a starter. Maybe you have a choice of a starter. It's not an NFT. Everyone can pick a different one, and they can kind of have that on their journey. They can add their alluvials and stuff as well.
Sorry to be rude, but as soon as you start saying that shit, it just adds complications. And it's something that I've said, something that Sam said. Make it simple. Like, just keep the shit simple. We don't need to overcomplicate this with fucking, yeah, but what about set 2? And only some of them are available. And fucking just shut up. Be quiet.
I agree.
Just keep it simple.
I agree, but what you're proposing isn't simple either. Someone going into a free-to-play game and it telling you, oh yeah, if you go to this website and pay $10 an ETH to get this asset, you can bring it into you with the game. That's not simple either. So you need to have the full game loop still present with alluvials by your side in some way. And I agree with your way of doing free-to-play alluvials as well that aren't NFTs, but they need to be integrated in the game in some way.
If I can... sorry, Sam, I'll say this and then jump in. The way that I would actually do it is that, okay, if we want to include alluvials, fine, capture them, do them all. Have them account bound, and there is a fee to migrate or level them up or whatever it is, turn them into NFTs. That's the way that I would do it. I think
we need to do something like that.
I think now's a good time to bring up maybe Kieran's tweet if you have it. I don't know if you do, but
we're saving that for the end.
Okay, well,
so we're going to argue again.
It doesn't matter what we. It doesn't matter what we think, I guess. But if we look at it from, we know there's at least 5 alluvials or something like that in that map, right? You can see there's an image base and it shows you where it is on the map, right? So if there's only going to be like 5 alluvials in the map, and we know it's not a boss because there's a different image for the boss, I assume you would capture these alluvials. What makes no sense to me, like it doesn't matter what we want. What direction are they going at the moment? And it looks like that there's going to only be around 3 to 5 alluvials per run. And I assume you can capture them, but then I'm trying to figure out how that ties into the automatic drone runs because right now we're printing so many alluvials.
Sam, in that again, we don't know this, right? But my perception is on that map, yes, there's one alluvial icon, but that could be the area for alluvials where there's multiple alluvials. It could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it could be, and I think that would make
have you had conversations about? Yeah, have you had conversations about this at all? No, it's just us speculating. Okay.
Yo, it's so much fun being from the community point of view and just kind of guessing and shit and throwing shit at the wall.
I'm just what makes sense. Like I don't even know. Like I said, there's so many alluvials right now in the system. You can't just go, hey, everyone, F you, let's burn them all. We start again. Unfortunately, you can't do that because they're NFTs, right? Now, how do you implement what they have now in the MMO-Lite and how alluvials tie into it? Is there you don't catch any of them? I don't believe that's the case because they have shards and everything, so that's sort of weird if it works like that. I just don't know how do you keep everyone happy who's caught alluvials for the past while, and then now, this MMO-Lite. How do you do that?
You can have all the core alluvials be Genesis, and then you go to set 2, stop set 1, and then you just have a brand new game, brand new alluvials. That'd be... If you wanted to go down that route, that'd be how I would do it.
I genuinely don't know what to do. Like, if I was them, I don't even know how to figure that out. Like, you have so many alluvials right now, say thousands and thousands, and then you do the MMO-Lite. Say you're only allowed to see 5 alluvials. Maybe you can capture 1. Do people have a head start? How do you balance that? Do you just burn the other ones into something and give them free fuel? I don't know.
I do have some alpha on the balancing part of things.
Okay, this will be cool. You can go to the next segment. We can play this out throughout the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Kieran did mention one thing internally, where he mentioned that your ranger level will play into the balancing of it all. So if your ranger is level 1, you might only be able to use a level 1 alluvial that you own in the MMO-Lite. Kind of like if you didn't have enough badges in Pokemon, your Pokemon wouldn't listen to you.
So you're going to bring in 1 alluvial, maybe 2, you would think, max into the MMO-Lite. Do we agree on that?
No, it's probably 6, but only 1 out at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have 1 at a time. It's like Power World. I don't know if you ever played Power World, Sam.
Yeah, a little bit. Pokemon's with guns.
Pokemon with guns. Great tagline. But no, essentially you could have six pals and you just rotate through them and decide who wants to come out at a time. So maybe you're fighting with 1, but on hand you have 6.
Like and you would have if you do a boss and you're with 3 friends, I assume you can do when you do the multiplayer. You can't just have 4 of you out there with 2 alluvials each. That's just chaos. Like you can't even understand what's going on. Right? That
could be part of the fun. I don't know.
No, that's not fun.
Their current setup is one out at a time. They've tested a few things.
I think what if I finish this conversation bit up is I believe that there'll be 1 alluvial at a time is my perception of this so far. Let's see if it changes because that's what makes sense with multiplayer and solo playing. I think I agree with you, Scoriox, with the leveling. Obviously, Kieran said something about the leveling that you would have a low-level alluvial. What I can't figure out, and hope you guys can figure out for me, is how the hell do you keep everyone happy with the alluvials that are out and not out, NFTs, not NFTs, light, Leviathan?
I have an answer.
Well, I don't think it's really about that.
You can't. You can't keep everyone happy, Sam. You should know this. Someone is going to go home crying.
I just don't really think it's about that. The PvE, the MMO-Lite is about going out, fighting Leviathans with your friends, and just having a really fun gameplay experience. I don't think if your friend has a tier 5, because there's no PvP, right? If your friend has like a crazy good ramfire, it's just going to be more funny when they destroy a boss in front of you. I don't know, but
let me ask you guys a question. Let me pose a question to both of you guys, right? I think it's very interesting because Scoriox is a part of the council, and Sam, you have invested a decent amount into Illuvium, so you've got a good incentive for wanting Illuvium to be around. So the question is, what do you prioritize? The happiness of and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but do you prioritize the happiness of the current participants in the ecosystem, or sacrifice that for long-term longevity of the project IP and studio?
I have the answer for this, but Scoriox, go first.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all agree. Some of us might not want to say it.
Longevity, obviously, but Sam makes a fine point where the existing alluvials in the ecosystem do affect newcomers as well. Like if you jump into like Pokemon brand new and everyone's already caught everything and they're smashing you with it in competitive, and they can just buy packs, or they've already bought packs for 1 cent and now you're buying packs for $1. Would you jump into the game? There's a valid point there that it's a little bit disheartening.
Let's be honest. What do we got? Like 1,000 real hardcore players, if that have probably played and leveled them up and cared about it. And I'll just be frank with everyone, and you're not going to like the answer. I would grab all the alluvials from this point past, burn every single one of them, give them a bunch of fuel to be happy, and start fresh from the MMO-Lite, and everyone's on an even playing field when they launch it in the end of this year or next year, whenever that part happens. And just cup your hands, go, look, guys, we're really sorry. This is what's best for Illuvium. Have some fuel on us. We understand you probably are our core audience. Is hopefully like resonate with them, right? Have a meeting in AMA, but just burn it all and start from fresh. Because at the end of the day, none of it will matter in a year's time or a year and a half. Like compensate them as best you possibly can with certain things, right? But just scratch it, start again. Let's move forward and give everyone an even playing field. I think that's what I would do if I was the founder. I just would, because You have to. I mean, depends on how they do the MMO-Lite. You can't please everyone. You're just going to diddy-daddle for friggin' months going backwards and forward. Just cut it off and go, guys, we fucked up. I'm so sorry. See you later. Here's some fuel. Let's play the game.
Okay, so
I'm not against that.
So
I'm not against it.
Let's play out this conversation then. Let's play out this conversation. So
let's
say you did that.
Before you say that, for anyone in chat gonna be like, oh, yo, these guys. I have alluvials. Sam has alluvials.
Yeah.
We're not exempt from this shit, right? Burn. Right? I want to address that. I want to fucking address that.
So what I don't get is the monetization model, actually. Is the monetization model currently is ADR. If you do the MMO-Lite, you get rid of the overworld, let's say, then the monetization model is still ADR. Let's say you're only capturing alluvials in the MMO-Lite. We know that paying per run doesn't work at all. Okay, like that's you're not going to pay every time you go in and do a raid and fight a boss. It doesn't fucking work. All right.
Battle pass.
How are you going to monetize the alluvials that you're now capturing in the MMO-Lite?
Battle pass?
I would do a battle pass subscription like World of Warcraft.
And a battle pass giving you X amount that you can turn from what you capture into NFTs, or a fee per turning it into a transformation, from turning it into an account bound into an NFT. That's what I would do.
Does Illuvium still takes a percentage of marketplace revenue, right? Like 3% or something, and IMX takes 2 or something. Yeah, I would encourage trading as best as possible. I definitely do a battle pass system where you pay a subscription or something monthly. That would make sense to me. So more players, more revenue. And then people will spend on the marketplace. I think that would work really well. And free to play, do what World of Warcraft does. It's a system that works. You can get to a certain level, like level 20 or something, and then now you have to pay. So keep it free to play still and limited. If you look at RuneScape or any of these other games, they all have free to play and then some sort of limitation, but it's not play to win, right? So I feel like whatever works with that, just keep it simple, like we've always said. And that's what I would do.
Fair enough.
Scoriox, do you have an input on that? What would you do for the monetization?
No, I think I would be along the same lines, some sort of subscription model for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And then some sort of pay to convert them to NFTs, or if that's integrated into subscription model, I don't know. But yeah, I'm along the same page there for sure.
But what would you do with the previous alluvials with everyone? Would you burn them?
No, I still think set 2 would be the way to go. Your other option is you can make all of the Genesis alluvials. You don't burn them, but you make them exclusive to Arena. And then no longer assets that can be used in the MMO-Lite. It adds complexity, but I feel like
that adds complexity.
You get a bit of best of both worlds there.
Like, how many people are you going to really piss off if you just burn them all? Not many, I don't think. Give them a bunch of fuel. That includes us. We all get a bunch of fuel. Cut the head off the snake. Move on. MMO-Lite's going to be amazing. Let's launch it up. Everyone will love it. They're not going to care in a month's time.
Also, you say a lot of alluvials exist, but like SurfDead says here, there aren't actually that many good alluvials. Like there are very few with like high stats, and so like let's say there's like 50 Ramfires with really good stats. If you're going to onboard 1 million players, do you really have that many alluvials floating around?
No, there's none compared to like how many players we got? None. Realistically, 0 players. Let's be honest, right?
No, what I'm saying is you need to burn them. You don't have that many assets.
But look, if we onboard 1 million, let's onboard 10,000 consistent players, then 20, then 30, then 40, and plan like that rather than but if we onboard 1 billion players. 8 billion players, like, okay, cool. Yes, that could happen. Definitely could happen, but let's not plan for that. Let's plan for smaller steps, 1 step at a time, and we get to the final destination when we get there. But
if you guys are gonna make this proposal, just wait till I'm out of council. That's right.
Are you gonna vote against us?
I'm not dealing with it.
I put my hand up. Someone write it for me. I don't care. Burn every single alluvial from this day previously or when MMO-Lite comes out. The only issue I have is how does ADR come into this, which I don't have a clue, because we're now incentivizing them with ILV tokens. No, it makes no sense to me. Because what are we going to get out of it? Nothing. Like, just stop giving. Next subject.
Yeah. What's the next? What's the next screen, Scoriox?
All right. So we got this. We can see that you get all different points for different tiers and stages. They go towards your leaderboard thing for the ADR / overworld. They're in the same leaderboard thing. And with different finishes, they get different stuff as well. And there'll be weekly scavenger hunts. It will actually pick a specific tier and stage. I don't believe it's supposed to be specific alluvial or a different set of specific alluvials. And then you'll just have to hunt those alluvials for that week, and you get a bunch of points and stuff on the leaderboard and things like that. So very, very fun. After that, we've got Illuvium. Rewards are returning. The ways to earn ILV. I've got on the right screen, yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The ways to earn ILV and rewards. Arena Gauntlet ranked, 200 ILV weekly. Gauntlet Leviathan, 200 as well, coming soon. Overworld, it's hopefully going to be in about a month after that, but it's subject to change. Overworld Bounty Hunt Leaderboard, 200 ILV weekly. Zero gets 100 weekly, coming soon. If people are really enjoying it, I would actually be pushing to increase this. So there's that to look forward to. Arena tournaments and events, over 2,000 ILV in prize pools every month, by the way. Arena gameplay raffle, 200 ILV bi-weekly. Yeah, you can just like earn for just playing the game, but I believe that's going to be integrated into the battle pass. Arena fuel drops, earn fuel daily through ranked play. Again, I believe this is going to be integrated into the battle pass in some way. And the battle pass is also coming soon. ILV cosmetics exclusive access. I believe this will be incorporated into the tournaments in some way as well. So there's a lot of missing stuff here, but it's actually going to be some really cool systems in there. Basically, compete in ranked matches and earn ILV based on your leaderboard standing. You need to play at least 15 games a week, so I'm pretty much out. I don't have the time for that, which is actually quite a shame. But yeah, rank bracket, all there. You can see 20 ILV first place. If people are really liking it, maybe the council will vote to increase this and stuff as well, and anyone can make a proposal, of course.
I am very, very, very curious, Scoriox, as you were the only one with internal information. If we could get a point of reference, you don't need to tell us exact numbers, but if we could say, yo, right now to a week after it starts and it's been running, what are the numbers looking like? Do we see an increase in 20%, 30%, 40%? I am very, very curious to see what the results are for each game.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely be asking about that the moment. Maybe not like this coming Monday or the Monday after, probably the one after that, like 2 weeks in. I'll definitely be asking for all these numbers. I should actually note, though, that Kieran did tell us that the player numbers have increased recently, and he told us this before rewards were announced. That was just after one of the big Gauntlet patches, and when it came to mainnet. Kieran said that the arena player numbers have actually increased quite a bit.
Do you have like numbers?
Yeah, the number of people, active players playing the game, which
so
is something
like is that like a couple of hundred? Is it a couple thousand?
I'm not entirely sure. I think probably 20-30%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first increase in players we've ever really had. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, hopefully this is like the base point, and they can sort of slowly build over the next couple of months, especially with the big expansion in May, June, with those new things coming, and then obviously they're going to come to mobile. I'm just curious about when the right time would be to start diluting and giving away these ILV rewards. I guess now sort of starts to make sense. You want to build that up, get the bi-weekly going, get the tournaments going, get some hype around it, and then by the time you do that, you've got mobile coming out, the MMO-Lite. So I believe it's probably nearly the right time to do so. Would you guys be, just talking about the ILV token itself, do you think it's a tough one, right? Do you think it should be locked up if you win for, say, 3 months or 6 months as your ILV rewards? Or can they just cash out straight away and say, see you later, I made my money, congrats?
I think you should do what we did with the season stuff, 50-50. 50 now, okay. 50 locked up or something like that.
Scoriox,
look, ideally, that would be the case. But I think in the situation that we're in, keep it simple. If we're trying to bring players in, don't overcomplicate the reward system. Don't overcomplicate that shit. I get it. Like, I do get it as someone who holds a decent chunk in ILV, that I don't want that shit diluted. But I think we're in a situation where we do what we can, and we don't try and complicate it while we're trying to bring users in. I don't think we have that leverage.
It looks like from what I'm reading here, it says 2,000 ILV. Is that weekly or something roughly? What's this breakdown?
I believe it's going to be monthly.
Just for the
wait.
tournament, right?
Wait, I think that this 250 is weekly at the bottom. This one's weekly, and these two are monthly.
And what about all the other ones above it said like 200, this one?
They're all weekly. They're all weekly.
Do you know what the total amount is we're giving away per week or per month, ILV wise?
Do a quick.
I think it's 7,000. No.
7,000. So what's the price?
Yeah, we got 800. We got 800, 800, 800. But is one of these Leviathan? Yeah, Leviathan's not in yet. So there's two 800s.
So it's around 7,000
and a
per
400.
week.
No, it's actually a lot lower. It's not lower. Sorry,
way lower.
I think it's 3,500.
So 3,500 per week, roughly. Is that correct?
No, 3,500 a month.
Oh, a month. Oh, that's much better. Okay.
Yeah,
so you're getting crazy. $50,000 per month, basically. So I think what you do is you run this for a month, and like you manage the data, which I'm sure they'll do, and go, did we get $50,000 worth of value, and start building a community from this? If we did not, you're better off running $50,000 worth of ads, $50,000 worth of influencers, or something else because it's not working, or lowering how much you're giving away. If you're giving away $50,000, you want to make sure you get that value back in player numbers.
With something like this, I would. Sorry, Scoriox. Let me jump in here. With something like this, I would say that you would run this in tandem with influencers, because yes, we can do this, but if we don't get the word out that this is happening, no one's really going to know. So let's say we do 50,000 here for a month. Let's say we put 25,000 towards influencers to get the word out. That's kind of what I'd be looking at. I wouldn't just do this and just this and say, shit, did we get people? Why not? Like that, you're not really trying your hardest.
When's the TFT players coming, right? Probably June, July. Once everything's done, that's when you push that big marketing. Say you spend 200K, 500K on, say, TFT influencers, bring them all over, start these tournaments with them. That would make sense to me. But you just want to manage how much you're giving away. You want to be really on top of that because you are.
Let me ask you, man. I know, like, let me see if I can bring this up.
I just want to quickly say that there's a little bit more to this than $50,000 worth of marketing. One of the big problems, I don't know if you were around when they brought all these updates and the multiplayer servers to mainnet, but it was like fucked. Like it was less stable than ever for like a brief moment as they had to fix a bunch of things. Mm-hmm. Part of the problem with that, I asked Kieran about that. Part of the problem was on the testnet version, basically no one played it. And so they didn't get enough data to be able to fix all of those sorts of bugs that cropped up. I'll put it on the screen in a sec, TSG. They didn't get enough data to put it on the screen and get all that stuff happening. But with this, they should be able to get match times and queue times down to 0 or near 0. And they can actually properly test everything, which is something that's really important and Illuvium needs integrated into the game. So this isn't just about marketing. Some of this is about just getting people playing, getting active player numbers up so the game is marketable, and then doing the marketing as well. Yeah. It's not like two-dimensional is all I'm trying to say. That's all.
Yeah. So, Sam, by the way,
is my mic screwed or something?
It sounds fine to me.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let me know again if someone else says that in the chat.
I mean, it's not great. It's not great.
All right. So, my question to you guys, right, is regarding the teamfight tactics side of things, because that is who we're gonna get players from, 100%. Your mic is gay, just like yourself.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. So teamfight tactics is where we're looking at. So let's look at this, right? Teamfight tactics, Twitch, the last 13 days. These are the guys that have the most watch time, averaging 3K, 5K, 2, 3, 16. I don't even know who this guy is, but 9K, 2, 3, and these guys, by the way, and anyone that doesn't know this, it's about $1 CCV, $1 concurrent viewer live is what we're paying these, is what you would pay this guy
for an hour.
This person, right? Yeah. So this person averaging 3,000, they'd be getting paid $3,000 per hour to stream, or do we go something like this? This is something that I had in mind where we go by stream hours. And the reason I say this is where energy or where attention flows, energy flow, like whatever that saying is. And if you're streaming for this many hours, yes, you only have 41 average viewers. It's not as much as the 3,000, but you're probably not making enough or anything through TFT, but you clearly have the hours to stream. Would you be willing to try something where you have a chance to earn? Maybe. I don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you think the and if you look at these guys, 342 hours, 6 viewers, 13 viewers. Green tea is Chinese. We can't do that because we're not localized in Chinese. But 19, 57, 500 viewers, 29 viewers. Do we go? I'm curious. We've never had this conversation public before. I know we've had it privately, but what do you guys think? Do you guys think we go for the biggest, most top tier viewed guys that cost a lot? Or do you think we go from a bottom up approach where these guys stream a lot? They don't have that many viewers though. But also, one of the benefits of having people that don't have a lot of viewers is that they have a hardcore following that are more likely to follow what they say. I don't know. I'm keen to hear what you guys think.
This to me is an easy one, right? You hire someone like yourself, TSG, because now the time would be to strike, or someone like that. And you do both. What you do is you do a big tournament. You get all the TFT players in one, because that's a snowball effect, right? You have that social missing out. Oh, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's playing it. Similar to Off the Grid. You do a similar thing with that. You hit all the TFT players. You spend your 2 to 500K. You get them to stream for 1-2 hours. You don't do it all at once, but you do it over a week period. Big tournament, big vibe, big hype. Everyone tweets about it. Put it in the contracts. At the same time, that influencer manager would then hit up all those small streamers every day. You just go down the list. You hit up thousands of emails, thousands of DMs, build that relationship, offer them, hey, come over, we'll support you financially where we can with ILV tokens. You stream a lot, stream our game. You'll make revenue this way. You've got the whatever referral program
Alliance.
And everything. You just get one person to do all of that, and that's their full job. Like, literally, that's how you bring in more people. The amount of times I get hit on the DMs, like OKX Exchange hit me up, right? They got like millions of followers trying to push their codes. I had a meeting with another Dubai exchange trying to push their code for their exchanges. Like, and I don't even tweet these days. I don't do any of that. So you want to grab these people and have a full-time job, someone reaching out constantly, because it works. Otherwise, companies wouldn't do that. So that's where your money should be spent instead of, I don't think ads work that well. That Facebook ads, the Google ads, the thing. Obviously, it does to a degree, but I think with the tight budget Illuvium's on, even though they've got some runway, but the amount of expenditures you have per month to build a game like this, and this is probably their last chance to hit it well for this game or / the MMO-Lite, you need to spend your money wisely, hence why you don't want to waste it. Hire someone and do all those things, and I think you'll have more chance of success than just doing one of those things or either.
But what do you think it is? Yeah, I'm fucking loving this conversation, by the way. But what do you think it is? Is it going for the top tier guys? Like, what percentage? Because you're saying, oh, get top tier. Let's message all the low guys. Let's talk specifics. What do you think the percentage is? What percentage of top tier? What percentage of the 50s and viewers and below? Or do you think that 50 and below is irrelevant? We should be aiming for 100 and below. Like, let's be specific here. I'm very curious about this.
Let's go with the top guys, right? So if you have the connection and have the contact for the top, say 50 TFT players that have got streamers, 3,000, 9,000, find your budget within Illuvium going, okay, we have $300,000 to spend. I assume for this marketing, I would spend close to 500K to do this, right? We know Off the Grid spent about 2 to 3 million. They got big vibes, and people played the game just for 5 million. There you go. So people played the game just because other people were playing the game. So Illuvium needs to do the same thing with their niche with TFT players. So say top 50 or whatever it is, hit up as many of them as you possibly can within a 500K-ish budget with that. At the same time, when you organize that and say it's in a month's time, organize a big tournament for the week, get the hype around it all in one small, time frame, and see what that brings over. At the same time, that person needs to hit up those small streamers. It doesn't matter if it's 10 viewers or 100 viewers. It really doesn't matter, because if you hit up people with 10 to 30 viewers, they are going to be like, oh my God, they reached out to me. This is a huge game. I love this. Like, they feel important, right? And if you multiply that by hundreds of people who are streaming, whether it's on Kick or Twitch, it will snowball and go, people actually care about it. Then they'll care about the IP and they go, wow, Illuvium saw me when I was no one. And if they, per se, take off at some point, then they'll feel like they owe something to Illuvium and have that emotional connection. That's how I would do it. That's a no-brainer to me.
Interesting.
Scoriox?
I agree with that. But yeah, Scoriox, what do you think, man?
I think it's a mixture of things. I think you definitely start off a little bit slow. You do the 100 to 200. You grab a bunch of them, and then you do that for a few weeks. Then you move to the 50 to 100. You grab a bunch of them and add them to the list. And then at the end, when the game's all ready, you grab 10 or so in the top 50. Maybe the top 1 and 2 as well. Just get some really big ones. You just do a big marketing event, like Sam was saying. You grab them all and you throw them all in. Big tournaments and things like that. You just do a big sprint, drop as much money as makes sense, but you do need to build it up. I don't think you do it all just randomly at once. You need to build it up over time. That being said, Kieran does have some plans for this sort of stuff already. That's a lot more confidential, so I can't really speak on that. But he has some really cool ideas. One thing he is discussing, I'm probably not allowed to say this, but he's finding some people, he's talking to some people regarding potentially a TFT commentator. So I don't know how large they are or whatever, but someone who does commentating on the TFT games and things, I think they're a streamer of some kind. He wants to get them onboarded into Illuvium at some stage and then have them commentate the official Illuvium tournaments and stuff like that. So integrate them that way as well to make sure that the prod value goes really, really high because they know what they're doing and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of different ways to approach it. But I definitely think, because Off the Grid's problem is they did a giant marketing event. That's more of an awareness campaign. Now everyone knows what Off the Grid is. If you go to someone on the street and you say, have you heard of the Off the Grid game? They know what it is because all their favorite streamers played it for a week or two or whatever. They know what it is. But for conversion, it's a lot harder to convert.
No, I haven't done an analysis about this or anything. I haven't spent that much time researching it. It was 8 hours. Their favorite streamer streamed for 8 hours.
Yes. Yeah. So some of them streamed afterwards, even though they might not have been getting paid.
They did.
But the problem is that it's fading really, really fast. It needs to be consistent. It just has to be.
But they also did a big raise after that, right? Off the Grid. They did that and then they raised a bunch of money because of those player numbers and that brand awareness. I think Illuvium needs to do something similar, but they must not launch unless it's battle tested, not going to break down, bugs are to a minimum. Like maybe something does happen, but to their best of their ability, player-wise, and trying to battle test the platform, that is priority.
So with the rewards coming out April 3rd, when do they do that? When do you think they do that?
So it depends. If they're going to do the big launch, say June, July, I would say April makes sense because it's something you have to test. You want more players to come in. It's not just about giving away money in the ILV rewards. It's more about testing, like Scoriox said, about the back end and everything. If that's
so how much of the smaller Web 2 audience you start bringing in at this point? Okay, so if let's say hypothetically, let's play this picture, right? Let's play this game. April, rewards go out. June, major launch. April, May, June. So we've got May in the middle. Do we go from 0 Web 2 activations to 100% Web 2 activations in June? Or do we go 10% in April, 50% in May? I don't know the answer to this. I'm asking. I'm genuinely asking.
I think yeah, you go 10, 15% in April, and then you go maybe 30% in May, and then you jump it all in I think it's late June, July. It's probably 50% in June and then 100% July.
Yeah. Again, if anyone is actually paying attention, I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions right now. I'm just keen. I'm trying to drag the information out of you guys.
That's how I would approach it.
When you say Web 2, you're basically saying, in short, TFT players, right? Let's be honest, something very similar to that.
TFT. Fuck Web 2, TFT. Yeah.
Yeah. I would just all of April. I would just target Web 3. I wouldn't waste TFT players. Any marketing cost or even hitting them up in April. I would get, because your goal is to battle test it, right? There's enough crypto people. You can get a couple of thousand players by the sounds of things back into Illuvium to at least check it out with your general influencers and everything else that would tweet about it. I think that would be enough. As long as that's enough to test, And also make sure the when your monetization onboarding wise from a Web 2 perspective is very clean. I wouldn't start testing that or spend any money in that unless you need to. Maybe a very small amount, but in general, I would just go hard all at once in whenever it's ready, July, August, June, whenever that may be. In regards to the TFT,
0 to 100.
Because
not scaling it up.
What I would do is scale it up with the crypto people, the degens, right? Use that audience to scale it up, battle test it, because the TFT players, as soon as you hit them up, say you want to do it in April, the game's not ready, there's no carousel, there's no many things. You only get first impressions once, right? And if you're really going to go after anyone in the TFT world, you want the best as your ability, perfect way to announce this is Illuvium, right? So I feel like I wouldn't touch them until I know the game's fully. Is my mic gay, is it? Oh, thank God. I'm going to listen back to this, and it sounds perfectly fine in my headphones. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Anyways, you get my point. I'll try and keep talking to a minimum, but now that's my point. My mic sucks. I get it. Scoriox, go ahead.
No, it's not that bad. No, it's just curious. It's interesting. I haven't really shared my point of view on all of this. I'm just curious obviously, I've got my point of view as someone who that's what they do, that's what they look at. But yeah, no, it's just fascinating to hear what you guys think. And no, there's no bass. There's just Sam's voice. Sam speaks like a little girl, so there's no bass in his voice.
What about now? Is that more bassy? I've added my bass.
No, same shit, bro. But all good. Ignore it.
As long as you can hear me, that's all. Okay. Anyways, Scoriox, go ahead.
The next thing.
All right, let's jump into the next one. The next thing we've got is the Trait Purity Indicator, TPI. There is a lot of nerdy shit here. I actually really liked it. But what we didn't realize is that there is 16 stats. There are 16 stats they have on the back end. That's why I couldn't decipher their stupid ass thing on chain, is because it has 16 stats in it. And so I was trying to convert it into 6. Anyways, the point is that 16 stats and the weight distribution is going to use all of them, even though from 7 onwards, they basically have very little weight. Number 7 has 20% weight, so that one's influencing it a lot. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all influencing it quite a bit. But then you get down to the back here, and they're not really doing anything. So a TPI number, even though if 2 alluvials have perfect 6 stats, and they're the same alluvial, right? They might actually have a very different TPI score because the last 10 stats are influencing it to get you to that above 90 or whatever it is. You guys are laughing at the chat.
Yeah,
no, that's great.
I'm not listening to anything you're saying.
Wait, can you bring up the guy who did the TPI website? It's amazing. Please tell me you've seen that on Twitter.
Yeah,
some random dude from Brazil built out the best website for Illuvium that they should use. Do you know where it is? I don't. I followed him.
It's Tricks, right? Is it not?
It's the Trinix one,
That's
right?
great.
Yeah.
Whatever he did was great.
Yeah. I mean, are you working on something, Scoriox?
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to release it.
No, that's gay.
Anyways, great nerdy stuff. It's really cool. That's neat.
Yeah, fantastic.
Simplicity, good stuff. We love
that. Whoops. This is Trinix's website.
Yeah, I thought this was really cool. And tell me I'm wrong. Hire this guy.
Yeah. He's done a good job with it. Oh, that's cool.
Genuinely,
I didn't know he did that.
We should have hired him a long time ago. In my unprofessional opinion.
Look at this.
I don't think it's going to make a difference. I don't think the web dev team at Illuvium is bad or anything. I think it might be a processes and a general company thing of why they can't get stuff like this happening on their own Illuvidex.
Blows my mind. Give this guy a job. Give him $500 and he'll implement this for you. There you go. $500 well spent.
This guy's been killing it for a minute now.
Yeah, really cool. Love what he's doing, whoever this is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious how much money he's made from this, because I know he was selling different versions of it.
I don't think he's made. I don't think he's made. I don't know if he's
Sam ain't coming back. Sam ain't coming back.
Okay. So the other thing I got is how your atlas performs. So the other thing is they actually have like values outside of the 5 you know. It just averages them down to those 5 after the fact. So your atlas might have an HP stat of 83%, but then it gets pushed up to the 100% stat. So that's really interesting as well. All right, let's push along. What we've got here is, well, I just showed all that. We've got some of the leaks of the week. I think that is better, actually. All right, so some of the leaks of the week, we can see, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Oh, we can see the carousel. It's just my computer's not doing great on this. Ignore the jankiness. That's just my PC.
Yo, I'm not going to lie. I skipped this leak completely because I thought it was something Gauntlet related. They should have started the first frame with the carousel. I was like, oh, okay, cool, it's some other thing. They should have started with that, but yeah.
We've got a bunch of emotes here. Oh, crap.
Jesus Christ.
I've never heard that emote. That made me laugh a lot.
We got that one. This one's pretty adorable. I've muted them, don't worry. We're good. This one's drinking milk for some reason, even though he eats a cow, which is a little bit weird for me, but that's okay. And then we've got these 4 things that looks like they're going to be the augment components. So like the 2 utility ones, you merge them and you get choice of a bunch of utility augments. So very, very neat there. I thought we had more leaks than that, but we do not. Rip ears. Oh my God. All right, we got another leak here. We got Chukundi from Wave 4 Illuvitas, I believe, looking very good. They've also said Wave 5 is basically complete as well, so it's good to hear that Illuvium Beyond is progressing nicely. After ADR, I'm not going to have any money left for Beyond anyways, but there's that. We've also got... What am I looking for here? I don't know. That's frustrating. I don't know what I've got here either.
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
I'm scared to talk at this rate, but anyway.
All my stuff has been messed up.
Well, look, Illuvitas is coming. What are your thoughts on Illuvitas in 1 month?
I think it's fine. I don't know how many I'll buy. I'll definitely get everything except the tier 5 stage 3s like I always do, but...
I'm glad... I'm glad they came out with a month and not a set date. That gives them the flexibility. They did push it back, which I think is important. The thing is, right now, Beyond players are a huge component of the revenue that we are generating. And I saw a comment about this in the Discord. What's wild is that it's actually the most polished product that Illuvium has. So we need to find that balance of... I'm trying to be very careful with my words or very specific with my words. We need to find that balance of catering to that audience without purely extracting from the community. And I think instead of jumping straight into Wave 4, them saying, hey, we have a delay. We're going to put it out sometime in this month when they believe that Arena and the other products are going to be a bit more polished, was the right decision. I do believe it was the right decision. And it now gives them flexibility of 30, 31, I don't know how many days there are in that month, to make that happen. So I can put pretty much all of my money on the fact that it's probably not going to be on the first, for what that's worth. I don't have that much money. But I can put all of that on the fact that it's probably not going to be in the first 2 weeks. It's probably going to be the second half of that month, which I think is fair.
If you say so.
Is Illuvitar, is Beyond really profitable though? And I'll tell you what people don't think of.
Okay.
The amount of, now I don't know internally, but the amount of people spending time on Illuvatars, doing the art, doing the building, doing the back end, doing everything to do via Illuvatars, how much money have we spent doing all of the Illuvatars to get them up to per se scratch, and what money's coming in, plus the ILV rewards going out? If you really do the maths of that, obviously wave 1 and wave 2, probably really profitable because it was exciting. We all had money. The crypto markets weren't down. But if you look at the waves now, last wave probably only made, I don't actually know the figure, so I'm not going to say any figure. But this wave will be substantially less because people don't have that much money, and you're extracting from the community, exactly like you said. But then also I understand the point, you have to keep the people who are already playing happy. My concern is it really profitable because of how much time and effort and resources goes into it that we actually get back? I don't think it's actually that profitable if you worked out the numbers.
Okay, let me.
I have the answer to that, but all right.
Okay, Scoriox, hold up 1 second. Before you give us the answer, let me and Sam argue a little bit. Sam, what do you reckon is more profitable or a better business decision? Beyond Wave 4, automated drone runs?
Let me expand on that. How many waves are in total for left? How many is the total wave? Is it wave 5 waves, 6 waves?
Five,
I think. 5.
And this is wave 4 now?
Coming up.
Automated drone runs will get people to spend their fuel that they've already spent money on or have in their accounts. I don't see much new money coming in from that. Maybe a very small amount of money for now, not a huge amount. I think it'll be more exciting when you can actually use them in the arena, and then automated drone runs might go up depending on how they do that. So I would assume that the Illuvatars would probably make more money than the automated drone runs for now.
Actually, they might be purchasable with fuel in the next wave, probably.
The Beyond.
See, the reason, like, for me, and this is very just anecdotal, I'm willing to spend thousands on Beyond because it gives me cosmetics or the ability to unlock cosmetics in Arena, which is the game that I like. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit about drone runs. That's just me personally. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I there's already a crazy amount of supply. I just personally buy shit off the market if I want alluvials. But Illuvatars, if they're specific Illuvatars and it's fun, I'll go for Beyond, and I have a chance to get cosmetics.
But this also goes back around. Like, this goes back to what we said earlier, right? Like, depending on what they're going to do with the MMO-Lite and all these things and use cases to do these drone runs, like, what are we doing with these Illuvatars? Alluvials, sorry. It's so much is spread out and complicated, and, like, in a perfect world, you wish Illuvium never launched and they're launching in, say, 6 months' time, and there's no mints, there's no NFT problems and all these sort of things. That's a perfect world. We don't really have that right now. How do you keep everyone happy, and moving forward, how do you make more revenue than you're spending? Drone runs, I don't see a huge thing right now. I believe it would have been a success early on, and I see it being a success when there's massive use cases, but there's so many alluvials in the ecosystem already. There's no real reason to do it other than to test it out. If you have extra fuel and to have a little bit of fun, maybe you have that gambling addict just for shits and giggles, like, right? But then you wouldn't spend too much money there. So I think that's useful down the line. Illuvatars, Wave 4, they're big spenders who do it because they can get on top of the leaderboard. But again, I still go back to that thing with Scoriox. Maybe you can answer now. Is it really profitable with all the resources going into it?
I asked that question quite a few months ago. Yes. The big reason for that is actually that it was front loaded a shit ton. So all of the cost of it was building out the infrastructure, the Illuvidex, the web pages, all that sort of back end stuff and things like that. That was the major cost. And that was all completed for Wave 1, which, as you said, was the most profitable wave by far. So the Wave 1 outcome and revenue and stuff paid all of that off, and then plenty more. And then everything since then is basically just a very small number of artists doing the art. So the actual overhead is actually very, very low.
But what about the whole new web system? I see there's new light up things and the completion goals and the layout of the web. Like, that's a lot of work, no?
I don't believe that was that bad. No.
Okay. There you go. I think they should do, obviously they're going to do Wave 4 and Wave 5. I would finish that up, and then obviously they've got to wait for the set 2 to come out. But I'll do a full reset after that point to really have a direction.
I'll ask you guys, and then we'll move on to I love having all three of us because we get to have these arguments or discussions. Discussions. But like, okay, if you guys had to choose, you have two choices: ADR, Wave 4. What are you more excited for?
Me personally, neither, but ADR is fun, but then after 3 minutes, I'm over it. But I'm not into Illuvitars.
Right.
I never have been. So I can
Right,
understand
okay.
you'd go down the Illuvitar route.
I'm saying Wave 4, Scoriox, and then we move on to the next thing.
As long as levels aren't incorporated to Leviathan, probably ADR.
Interesting. So I've got one of each. Neither, Wave 4, ADR, which probably explains why we need a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Okay, move on.
I'm somewhat a neither. I already own a lot of Illuvials. But at the same time, I kind of want to get like a full holo sale, get lots of cool rare stat ones, stuff like that. So I enjoy collecting them still.
I wish there was a reason to do ADR, but there's just not.
Well, the Leviathan rewards are coming soon. Leviathan tournaments will be a big amount of money. So if you want to get involved in that, that will probably be a reason to do ADR.
Let's see if
By
that
the
carries
way-
over to more money generated in ADR then. Let's see. Or more overworld activity. You'll be able to see on the back end when that point comes, and then maybe we discuss it then.
Yeah. And by the way, in chat, let us know. So we've got one of each, right? I'm a Wave 4, Sam, Neutral, Scoriox, ADR. Let us know in chat. Which one do you guys fuck with? And yes, by the way, I saw some comments in the last video. Yes, I'm swearing again. Yes, I no longer represent Illuvium. I can chill out with the cuss. So
there's a new deal too. If you guys all use the referral link down below, and I make enough money this month from Illuvium Alliance, then I will tell Taryn to stop swearing.
I'll stop cussing. I will stop cussing if you help Scoriox out. But for now, fuck it. Next story.
Next subject.
Oh my god.
My
Okay.
quick chat has
Okay.
now on the head there.
And we'll be earning for the long term. Wave will be for a quick injection. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Nick says here, single fuel is much clearer now for new users joining the ecosystem. 3 fuels was too complex for newbies. So I'm just really glad we're simplifying the entire ecosystem. Like, I believe you don't even need to pay money to have shards created. Thank fuck for that. All right.
Can I say one thing before we run away from this? I
Yeah.
said
No.
all of this like a year ago. Everything's too complicated. Why we got 3? All of this I said a year ago. Anyways, that's my
Relax.
glow.
We all
There's a lot of people that have
this
said,
guy trying to
that
take
have said
credit.
it for
Relax. Relax.
So many
I'm
mistakes.
surprised Venomore hasn't reappeared.
Yo, my guy just pops out of nowhere.
I'm dead. Okay. Yeah. Next.
I like that. He's okay. All right. So the next one we've got is new website inclusion, such as alluvial collections, was hugely needed. Now players can track which alluvials they do and do not own. The Stripe inclusion is so huge. Have you used the Stripe thing yet, Sam?
No, because I don't want to put money into the ecosystem. To be fair, because there's no reason to. But I love that it's there because it's not about.
But have you seen the flow and stuff?
No, can you put it up or no?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Is it super easy to take money from someone's bank account? Yeah, see, perfect. Like, I wish this was in ages ago.
Wait till Venomore comes back as an Illuvium bull. Bro, that's crazy.
No, I never said bull.
Oh, I love this art. I love this. I haven't seen this.
I told you, it's like full revamp.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting it. Like, like it's so easy for us to sit on the outside and go, ba. Like, it's a lot more complicated behind closed doors, and it's very difficult to build out a game like this. I have to give credit to the team, right? It's just it feels like there was so many F-ups. There's so many.
Yeah, and I want to say,
I feel like they're getting it now.
As someone from now, I think that I'm
when
in
you
a
log
unique
in, you
position
actually get
as-
like a full collection thing pop up.
And real quick, I want to address this, right? I want to make this public once and for all, and I don't need to say it again. But as someone that was once on the team and now I'm outside, the thing is I've always been a fan of Illuvium. So now that I am on the outside, I don't want it to come across as I'm criticizing or things like that. But I'm able to speak about my thoughts and feelings a lot more transparently. I have complete faith in what they're doing. Yes, there have been mistakes. Yes, there have been things that we could have improved on. But that's my intent coming here. I'm not trying to shit on anyone, laugh on anyone. My goal and wish is still that they succeed, and I fucking hope they do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And I want to make sure that I make that abundantly clear that I fucking rock with these guys. I have relationships with these guys. Like I just want to make that abundantly clear once and for all. And at any point, someone can clip back to this bullshit, but that's my stance on it. And yes, we might be laughing. I might be a little bit more lighthearted than I used to be, but it's all in good faith, and it's only because I want the best out of the project, nothing with ill intent. And I just wanted to put that publicly.
Well said. And Scoriox, this is amazing. Can I ask, why was this never like the first thing to get? Like this is with the fuel, right?
Know.
This is phenomenal, by the way. This Stripe payment process, super clean.
Yeah,
super
and now you can do it from anywhere. You can pay with your Arbitrum USDC and ETH.
I have two questions to this. Two questions. First of all, why did it take so long to implement this? Maybe there's reasons. And two,
it might have been
IMF. Should have been like this from the start, because see how it says 2,000 plus 200 bonus? Like people are used to this from mobile and everything else. Why is it just coming instead of the old shit that we did? Why is it just taking this long?
For Stripe,
it might have been an IMX issue.
Partly, IMX is just really bad with this stuff. But the Stripe thing is Stripe only started building in their own crypto rails and stuff like a year ago.
Okay, so there is a bit of a reason.
They're quite new. That's why everyone used MoonPay. It was the only one that was available.
It wasn't, and I'll say this: it wasn't that they hadn't tried. There wasn't at all that they didn't try. There were extra things that were sorry, I'm so used to censoring the way I speak. There were things that were fucking us up that we couldn't.
No, I feel like this is clean and this is easy to onboard now, right? Implement this everywhere, which is what they're probably doing. And when the Web 2 and the marketing comes in, it's very easy for someone to spend money if they want to. So that's
this is already implemented everywhere, because this is used for fuel, which is used in every single game in their entire ecosystem.
I love this. This is
so
really
you buy fuel, and then you have your in-game currency like V-Bucks or whatever, and now you can use it for everything. And it's all perfect on.
Let's keep pushing. Like, I'm not saying, give them a free pass. Let's keep pushing.
Oh no, this stuff needs to be in quiet.
They're making fucking progress. They're making progress.
When can they put it in the game? That's where I feel like it's super powerful. Maybe for the MMO-Lite.
It should be. It should be.
Like the marketplace should be in a game, right?
And it gets really easy if you're on mobile. So if Arena goes to mobile, then payment rails and mobiles are super easy, and so you can actually build out a full thing. Yeah. So there's
if
that.
I'm not mistaken, patience. If I'm not mistaken, and I know what's going on, a little bit of patience, and what you're saying happens.
Perfect. I saw a game implement their NFTs into their marketplace in the game, and I got told that they increased their revenue or their game spending phenomenally, like a stupid amount. I can't remember the percentage I saw. Their game marketplace was in the game.
Yeah,
it was like
Gigaverse.
Yeah, I got told that their revenue just skyrocketed.
Yeah, the transactions like 10x or something. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it makes sense why. We obviously don't even have an overworld properly and all that sort of stuff, but when that can go in there and there's player base, or like that's so powerful, right? That's when ownership will be exciting. All
Web3 games should be integrating their marketplace inside the game. IMX doesn't natively have support for this, but ZK EVM does. However, it is complex, and in the case of Gigaverse, they're a browser-based game. So even though the marketplace is in the game, they are in the web, and so it's really easy for them to do, right?
That's a valid point.
I'll say this. Yes, for sure, browser-based. It's not just for Web3 games. It's beneficial for any fucking game.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I was saying that to someone the other day in the Pirate Nation Discord. I can't think of a single Web2 game where the marketplace is on an external website. Someone did correct me. Technically, all the Steam games like CSGO have all their skins on the website. But yeah.
But can we, I don't know if this is going left field, but ZK EVM and what chain is Illuvium going on? We can't stay where we are. A lot of work to go over to ZK EVM. Do you think they'll stay with the IMX? Do you think they'll move to base? Like this?
No, we need to migrate at some point. There's IMX.
Preferences?
IMX was always an interesting one where I was like, yeah, we definitely need a move, but maybe it's not urgent. But now Gods Unchained left IMX, which is the flagship for IMX. And so
Are they on ZK? They will be on ZK, right?
Yeah, Gods just moved to ZK, and so Illuvium's quite literally the last person on fucking IMX now.
I think they should go
what I'm trying to investigate is the overhead for ZK EVM. If moving to ZK EVM is 10 times easier than moving somewhere else, then I'll pick that. If not, then I don't know where I would have a preference. Ronin has the best community. AVAX has its benefits. Honestly, I'd like to see it go on the Pirate Nation blockchain. Their tech is insane and better than everything else by a landslide. You can buy things cross-chain. It's all cross liquidity layers and shit. It's fucking insane. But yeah.
What if I told you there was a chain that you could be on every chain all at once? That's where they should go. And you're not with one community. Multi-chain, everything. That's called CoinWeb.
I'm going to
look it up one day. Just letting you know, CoinWeb. But yeah, it'd be interesting which way they go with that. I think Kieran said in the past it takes like 4 months or so just to migrate. So that seems like a lot of effort and a lot of progress and a lot of resources too.
What's important to me is that we migrate before the MMO-Lite. I don't care how long the migration takes. We cannot launch the MMO-Lite on IMX Legacy.
Yeah. Okay, next subject.
All right, let's go. We don't have 2 minutes to go.
I love you too, Speedinator.
Okay, Aaron says here that TPI is an estimate of how good a unit will be in all the games. Even games don't exist. The Arena Hex grid exactly how a unit is in Arena, and the Overworld grid tells you exactly how a unit is in the Overworld. So, just keeping that in mind. And yeah, TPI is roughly across all games. Kieran also said here that we post a treasury report every single month. Oh my god. You guys didn't even say anything.
I said screen twice.
Kieran says that we post a treasury report every single month. Most projects don't go to the level of detail we do. And my point is the minute we start doing financial reporting exactly like a company, then we become closer to a company. We want to continue being a DAO. The only thing I've ever asked the council to censor is individual wages, which is absolutely fair. We don't want to tell people how much Taron earns when he is working there, right?
1,000 USD a month. Okay, it's not much.
So the other thing is Stuart says
publicly, I'm joking. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Stuart says there were some bugs and things with AWS, but we'll run an update into our script so it doesn't happen in the future. It's really good to see that they're picking up all these bugs early, getting to them, and just smashing them out. There have been so many bug fixes and patches and things that have rapidly been fired out recently, and it's been really great to see. Here is a proposal that went through for refund for unused fuel purchased below the minimum rail. Basically, if you don't like the new pricing structure and systems of Illuvium, you can get a refund for the ETH you spent on fuel. There's a few caveats to it and things like that. Like it doesn't count for anything above the 0.25 rail. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, good stuff that went through. We managed to approve that. The council's managed to approve that in under 48 hours, which is unheard of for councils. Okay, next one. I love this post by Toriel. Such a great shot. And Toriel said that they were trying Raven Quest, but it's not for them, just like Sam over here. These are the kind of graphics we had years ago. We've come so far, I don't want to go back. Illuvium really is graphically pretty impressive. We're almost down, Taryn. Nick also said, new Illuvium, my collection drone runs and web updates are extremely well done. He absolutely loves it. Also got the automated drone runs thing. Have you seen this video, Sam?
It's time to go.
Yeah, I did see this.
Traverse across every region and find your way through this alien world.
If Lamar is watching this, I miss you, bro.
Scour the marshes of Abyssal Basin and be prepared for anything. As alluvials lurk.
I love these shots of the alluvials.
Every corner. Chase them through the Crimson Canyons. Catch them off guard in Brightland Steppes. If we want to stand any chance of survival, we are going to need all of them. There's no time to waste. Get out there and track them down. The hunt is on.
Automated drone runs available now. Don't forget to use my creator code over on that side. Okay. And last but not least, we have this.
Here we go. I hope you got another hour in you because we're about to chat.
I think TSG going to go soon, so let's make this quick. Okay.
No. Let's fucking enjoy this, man. Let's fucking enjoy this.
All right.
I need to find another drink, but yeah.
The first thing we need to note is that we have this in the bottom left-hand corner. We can see the different legend here, and there's and we can also see blockers on the map right there.
Explain what a blocker is.
So it's my guess that this is usually a story beat. So we've all played Monster Hunter Wilds together. I know everyone in the audience hasn't. We'll explain it. Basically, you go through and you see all the different story elements and the characters talk to you and stuff, and then you fight a monster. And after you fight that monster, you do the next part of the story. But really, you also move to the next part of the region, the area, and stuff like that. That's all I think this is. Either it's a level blocker, so until you're level 10, you can't go past here, or it's a story-based one. But it's probably a combination of the two. Like, if you're level 10, maybe you can't beat a level 20 boss. You need to beat that boss to get through it, right? So it's a component of the both, right?
But why is there only one blocker then? If it was a level based or something like that, they're just going to stop you there, then you can get to the whole rest of the region?
Well, you just can't get to the next part. You can't get to the tier...
But why only from tier 2 to tier 3?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Why only between tier 2 to tier 3, but then there's no other blockers on the map?
It could be an unfinished map. I don't know.
My guess is it's like a free-to-play version up to that point, is my guess.
Oh,
otherwise
okay.
you'd have multiple blockers. Because, that's my guess.
Well, okay. Well, let's all share our... Before we discuss this shit, what's your high-level take on this? Let's all share a high-level take on it, and then we fucking argue,
Sure.
and then we come to a consensus.
Let's break it down, right? First of all, I want to ask, what do you think the ruins are?
Where's that?
The tower-looking purple things. I'm colorblind if they're not purple, just FYI.
Oh, right. Ruins.
They are purple.
They're probably
What do you
some
think
sort
they
of exploration mechanic, puzzle, something like that.
Okay. My take, and I'll go first because I already got it on top of my head, is the blocker is a free-to-play area. You can't go any further than those little areas. My guess is it's sort of beamed off, and then you need a battle pass to go to the rest. Would make sense to me. I see that there's about 3 bosses, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm missing one. So there's roughly 3 bosses in this run, or whatever you want to call it. And I only see a handful of alluvials. And this goes back to our conversation at the start of the podcast, is how, if there's only 3 or 4 alluvials, or depending Scoriox, if you're saying that's where they all hang out, which I find that odd, but I believe it's only going to be...
That's what I said.
Sorry, TSG.
But carry
on. My guess is there's only like 3 to 5 alluvials. Remember, automated drone runs, they give you 6. So that would sort of roughly make sense. And I assume you could capture them. I don't know. I need another perspective here from you guys. Like, I don't even know what highest or lowest means on the thing. I would like a different take than what my take is, because I've got nothing else other than that.
Well, the alluvials are only in tier 2 and above areas, except for that one on the top right. And so that would maybe... Oh, no, and there's one down there too. But I do like the idea of a free-to-play blocker. I actually think that would be really good. I think we should do that.
Scoriox, allow me to say my part, and then you jump in, because I feel like you're going to have more...
No, I don't have shit. But yeah, okay.
Okay, fun topic. No. We've all played Monster Hunter. I'm very curious. Look, I'll address this straight out.
I need to cut you off real quick. I'm so sorry. There's 8 alluvials in there, which is the exact same as an ADR, right? Unless I'm counting them wrong. So there is going to only be 8 alluvials, if you think about it. Unless I'm miscounting, that's exactly what a drone run is. That's what you get here. They are definitely a single alluvial. Correct me if I'm wrong. TSG, please continue.
Yeah, no, fair play. Look, I've said...
What?
I've said publicly... So I'm trying to be very careful with my words here, Sam. Or very specific with my words. I've said publicly that I think that the region needs to get redeveloped and redesigned for a new genre of game. I've said that publicly. And it looks like the new guys that have come on have said, hey, fuck it. We think we can make do with what we have. So, I don't know what their vision is for this. I don't know how to dissect what they've given us. I would genuinely, and I'll publicly state this, I've told Scoriox privately, keep all of this shit in an archive. So if we ever do get these guys on a podcast, we can ask them about it. I'm keen to see what their vision is for this. Because I do believe that, yes, we could do something with what we have. 100%. I think it could be doable. But how? What's the vision? If they're able to expand on it, we're able to understand it, cool. And I don't think that's out of the question, right? I want to make it clear. I don't think that what we have now has to be changed. Do I think it should be changed? Yes. Does it have to be? No. But I need more information.
I mean,
And so,
I mean, they're already sort of, you can tell, right? They're definitely using what they've got. They're not remaking anything, which I do agree with you on, that if they could start from scratch, they would. But the funds and everything, they're going to use what they have. And it looks like this is what they've said, right? In the image, they're like, this is what we have. This is what we've come up with. This is how we're going to make it work. This is the game plan.
and so I would love, with this being the case, I don't think there's much that I can add without speaking to them. Like, I would love to have them on here and pick their brains. So explain to us, what is the decision? Like, explain to us the rationale. And not even saying that I know better than you. Fuck no, I don't. No chance I know better than you. But explain it to us as people that have been following the brand, the IP for years, that have been fans of this for years. Give us the direction that you're seeing that maybe we're not. Because I can guarantee that Sam, myself, Scoriox, we're looking at this and being like, oh, we see potential, but what really is the direction?
Speaking of that, Scoriox, what do you think it is, the breakdown of what we have here? Because this is the direction they're going in. They're starting off with this region. How do you take all of this?
I agree with Taran, is we need to... I don't think we necessarily need to take and scrap this entire fucking this entire map or anything like that, but it needs a big upgrade to be for something good for an MMO-Lite. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I would at least expand it, add more areas around the outside. You need some new stuff. Just take from what you've already got. Grab one of the islands, move it, re-terraform it a little bit, go crazy with it. You need to add more stuff into each of the pockets. The landscape feels very empty and very open. You need to add more to it, but they've got the landmark thing, they've got the ruins thing. I think that's what they're trying to do with that. You need to expand on it, improve it, make it more interesting. And then you need to make some of the areas larger. For example, you can see it's a little bit hard. Right on the right there, you've got that 9 with that little sliver there. That entire bit needs to expand a bunch. That's not a zone in a game. That's like 2 meters in real life version. That's fucking nothing. Expand that section. That can be its section. You just need to expand it, make it bigger, make it multi-level, whatever. But the map is so open. Something like Crimson Waste, you could split up into areas a lot easier. Something like this, not so much. That being said, we do have Tiger Boreal coming up, so there is going to be more. There is going to be new content for us to use. My problem isn't that about new content or old content. It's more regarding, is this map actually designed for an MMO-Lite? And without them actually changing it much, I can't visualize. It's hard for me to visualize. But maybe once you put everything in there, you can see it. I don't know. But it's really hard because I try to think about World of Warcraft, because it feels like they're going for a World of Warcraft vibe, right? You're in an area with level 1 enemies. You go to another area with level 2 enemies, right? It gives me World of Warcraft vibes. In World of Warcraft, each area with the enemies is quite large. There's a lot of trees, foliage, and buildings and other things in each of those areas. Even though they're quite flat and basic, there is still a lot of things in there, a lot of different kinds of enemies and stuff like that. I think we need to do, if we're going to do it this style, this way, I think we kind of needed to do it like that. And I'm not convinced this map is designed for it or big enough.
I mean, I would say well said, Scoriox. The only thing I would say is, my take is they're doing what they can with what they have without changing too much. They're going to go, okay, this is what we've got. What can we do to make it work? We all know it feels empty. They're like, okay, what can we do to make it not empty? They're putting in landmarks, ruins, treasures, bosses and all these things. And then they're hoping that fills it up. It's not like World of Warcraft style where it's you're right. Like some of the regions don't even make sense, but I think they're just looking at it going, okay, this will have to do. How do we make this to the best of our ability to make it work? That's what it feels like and sounds like.
Yeah, well,
I'm very, very excited. And we can discuss this till fucking day's end. I'm very excited to have Steven come on at some point. And I know, like, I love the fact that he's come on with Rich and had that conversation. I'm very, very keen for him to come on on a community podcast where we get to grill him from a community point of view. And I'm very, very excited to see what he says. And like the thing is, all three of us, I mean, Sam, you've been here since the very, very beginning, essentially. Myself and Scoriox have been here for about the same time, almost at the beginning. It's not like we're community members that have just come in late in the game asking you questions about what we want. We've been here since the beginning. So I think it'd be a very, very fascinating conversation.
Yeah, I think you should definitely get him on 100%. Just quickly, do you think that they should put all the regions together? Remember what I said at Scoriox? I think we did it on Twitter or whatever, how that every region is just one big map, but you can still have the Abyss to travel to those areas. What are your thoughts on that, if that makes sense to you guys?
I do think so. I think in the name of simplifying
obelisk.
I think, in the name of simplifying overworld travel, if you still have to pay for it and stuff like that, I think that would make sense. But it does bring up an interesting question for this here, right? If you go from level 1 to level 40 here, do you go from level 1 to level 40 in the other two regions? Other six regions?
That's a great point. I haven't even thought of that, right? Like, because you know how in World of Warcraft you start as an Stormwind, Ironforge, whatever it is, and then from level 1 to 10, that's where you level up, and then you go to a new region, right? How do you do it in Illuvium? Can you go to all? Is it the same levels? They must look at us going, these guys have got no idea.
It might not be regarding not be regarding enemy level, but it might just be regarding flow. Like this is how a game designer would organize the level design for something. They would say, where do we want the player to navigate through? And maybe it's maybe it is like not quite a roguelike. Maybe you should go and play through, and you play through again, and it changes a little bit. Maybe only one of the ruins is activated sometimes. I don't know. Maybe it looks a little bit like the overworld we currently have. Everything's kind of randomized, and you just jump in and explore the world. I wouldn't hate it, because what I am going to say here, with reusing the assets here, right, is I like the idea of having something to play in the interim before the full proper MMO-Lite comes out. If we get a game that's fun and playable as compared to the current overworld, I would actually really like that if it comes out in a few months or whatever it is. Like, if we get something, I'd be pretty happy with that. I do think we need to kind of reserve a lot of that for like a big relaunch, so it's probably not the best idea. But personally, that would excite me. So, yeah.
Do you think the level, like whatever your level is what level is in the map? So in other words, if you log in and you're level 20, when you go to a run or you take the Bliss there, is everything roughly around your level to level 20? Is that what you guys are thinking, or slightly different?
Enemies maybe, Alluvial's probably not.
Okay.
I think but I think you're going to target something specific. The only way I can imagine an MMO-Lite is you go to select the raid you want to do, and it's a raid level 20. And so if you're level 20, you're going to have a good time. Your level 30 is probably going to be a bit too easy for you. It might even block you. And you go and fight the level 20 Leviathan. It's somewhere on this map. You're battling enemies on the way and stuff like that. Because I'm thinking Big Time as well. Big Time kind of looks like this in a certain sense. I think Big Time's dungeons, it's basically a dungeon system from WoW. Is pretty good. It's fun. It's an enjoyable experience, especially with friends. And that's what I want from the Overworld MMO-Lite system. And maybe that's all this is. Maybe this is just a giant raid map. And you go through and only one of those bosses appears. And then so you have a different path to get to the boss each time you jump in. So like maybe you jump into a raid and it's just tier 3. It's just the tier 3 sections. It's all like you got the bubble. You can't get to the other sections. You've just got the tier 3 systems. That's your tier 3 raid. It's just that section of the map. When you go to a tier 4 raid, it's just the tier 4 section. Because you'll notice they're all grouped together. Okay? Except for purple. Purple's all over the shit.
I've never thought of it like that. So in other words, you log into the Obelisk and say it's a tier 4, like your end game. Pretty much there's nothing in the other regions except for those tier 4 area, so you got to go there to do whatever it may be.
Yeah, maybe that's how I would have done this at least. But yeah.
Interesting. Well, if you look at where the bosses are, one's in the green, one's in the colorblind purple, and one's in the red. So each tier has a boss, right?
One's in blue, one's in yellow, and
Yeah,
one's in orange.
every tier has a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, really, we could interpret this a million different ways, and we're probably wrong entirely. But this will be the first. I would like to get them on. I was just kind of waiting for them to get more ingrained in Illuvium, come up with some ideas and things like that. But I do want to bring up to Kieran and them. I might send them a DM and ask them like how they see the existing NFT assets playing a role, and if the MMO-Lite's going to have capturing in it. Because, I don't know.
Can we message them on Discord now and get that answer?
I don't think they're going to respond right now, but
let's chill out. Let's have some fun. We'll spitball amongst ourselves, but let's bring them on in a couple of weeks. I think that'd be fucking fantastic. Once they've got a little bit more settled in, look, I've started a new gig. I get it. I want to settle in. I know how they feel. Once they settle in, let's fucking have our fun with it and ask them. I think that's going to get the best value out of them.
All right. Don't forget to use my referral code over to the side here.
#Scoriox.
It's almost 11 p.m. and I've got like 3 videos to make, so I'm going to be fried tonight.
You're welcome for making this podcast go really long.
That was your fault. All your fault. I didn't do fuck all. I barely said shit.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this one up?
No, just do the thing at the end. Do the thing.
Do that thing.
And with that, the download is complete. Don't forget to use my referral.